Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to meet all the women who are the recipients of the Alaska Hall of Fame. I especially want to thank Edna McLean for nominating me, the selection committee, and the board of directors for selecting me to be one of the inductees into the Women's Hall of Fame. This recognition is such a great honor. And I was very pleasantly surprised that I was given this recognition because all the work that I've done throughout my life, I did not seek recognition in any way, but I responded to the needs of the people of the Arctic region and parts of the other parts of the state. And so I enjoyed doing that. The need at that time for leaders and people to step forward, especially those who knew the Inupiat language, the native language, and also had a good command and understanding of the English language, were very rare in our villages. So some of us who had the bilingual and bicultural background, we were what we call these days pretty much recruited. I say that word because it's the elders and the leaders of our villages who ask us. And when an elder or a leader asks you to help them out and fill this position, whatever it was, a great need at that time, we have to honor the elders and the leaders' request. So all of my life, practically most of my working life, that's what I've done. I did not seek recognition, and for this reason, I am very pleasantly surprised, and I really thank you, especially those who talked about filling in positions in the healthcare field. There's continues to be a need for that, and I really appreciate everything that all the recipients of this recognition are receiving. I also want to say that we are so very blessed to live in our beautiful state of Alaska, filled with people with a variety of cultures, languages, and background, much of whom are now from the lower 48 states. They've contributed to our beautiful state, and even other parts of the world. They bring us their culture, their languages, and their way of life. So Alaska is very blessed to have such a wonderful variety of people and tribes. The population in our state also includes the Alaska's first people. We were here before anyone came. And we are most of the time called the Alaska Native people, the Aboriginal people, and I am one of those. I am an Inupiat Alaska Native, born and raised in Barrow, what is now Oktavik. And my first language before I started the elementary school was the Inupiat language. I had no knowledge of the English language whatsoever. And unfortunately, the schools at that time physically hurt us and punished us physically for speaking our language, our Inupiat language. I was just a little child, maybe in kindergarten, first grade, third grade, eighth grade, and I was trying my best to learn the English language. And if I accidentally spoke in my Inupiat language, many of us were punished physically, but that's another long story. I won't get into that right now, but we are blessed with the Inupiat people, the Aleut people, the Yupik people, the Athabascans, the Tlingit Indians, Haida Indians, and the Tsimshians. These are all the Alaska Native people. And one of the things that I did want to very quickly, I know our time is very limited, but I did want to highlight a little bit on some of the traditional characteristics of a leader, in particular, the characteristics of the Inupiat in the Arctic region, who are leaders of each of our villages, some even statewide, some by district, some in the legislature. It was currently we select leaders by voting, some by popularity, some by knowledge, etc. But in our villages, a person was often chosen who possessed well-proven characteristics, qualities within themselves, in addition to their work experiences and that sort of thing. Throughout my life, I have traveled and worked with many Inupiat leaders, Alaska Native leaders. I traveled to about 67, close to 70 villages in the late 1960s. And I saw the characteristics of the leaders in each of our villages, which seem to be very common. These characteristics of leaders of the Alaska Native people, and I think it also includes other leaders who, from the lower 48, I have seen other leaders from the lower 48 rise up, and so many of them also possessed these beautiful characteristics of a leader. The first one is Ilimuturnek. Ilimuturnek means to be truthful and to be honest. That's one of the characteristics of a leader. The other is Iglutonek. That means endurance. Endurance. It describes a person who goes through extreme difficulties for a long period of time in order to accomplish and resolve the issues at hand. The other characteristic is to remain standing during conflicts. In other words, don't walk out, don't give up, deal with a conflict until it's fully resolved on behalf of the people that you're serving. The other one is Analachilyotarnet, means when you are elected a leader, or even a parent in your own community or wherever you might be, when you govern, governing and leading responsibly, to always be mindful that you were not placed there by yourself. It is the people who elected you or placed you in that position. So, and also to really respect the people who placed you in that position of responsibility. The other is whatever position you have, be well studied of your own sphere of responsibilities. Educate yourself and be very knowledgeable on the issues that you are currently facing. The last one, I have several, but I'll narrow it down to the last one, and that is is a value that many leaders and many people in our villages possess, and they expect this of a leader. Means spirituality and faith in God. For example, in all the travels, before a meeting starts, the leaders always start out with a prayer for God to bless the village, to protect us, and help us, give us knowledge, give us wisdom on how we can best resolve this issue on behalf of the people. So it is really, in closing, it's really my hope that the younger generation in our state of Alaska, as well as the Alaska Native people in the villages, it really is my hope that the next generation of leaders will grow in these ancient characteristics And the leaders who practiced these characteristics were so successful in resolving difficult issues that we face. So I do want to, that's a very short version of a study that I did. I also want to thank Jane and her group again for inviting me. It's such an honor. God bless each of you.